Thanks, Mate. So now we have back to Canada and Katarina. Ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Opa, I forgot how hard the bench is, yes. Okay, so hi, I'm Katarina. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I moved to Galovac, Zadar 2 years ago. And so when Paul asked me to speak, I said, Paul, give me some guidelines, like what are we looking at here? And he said, just talk about your journey, and it doesn't have to be long, 5 minutes. And I was thinking to myself, how am I going to sum up this massive journey in just 5 minutes? But
You've got 7.
Okay, I got 7 minutes. Let's make it happen. So the hardest questions are the broad questions, like why did you move to Croatia? And it's hard to explain that the desire to move to Croatia was almost like pathological. It was like a sickness I had. It's all I could think about. I would dream about it. I would fantasize about it. I would have images of what my life would look like here. I imagined sitting with my kids in the future and telling them to chase their dreams because their father and I chased ours. And as life in Canada was changing and the social life in Canada was changing, and we realized that our values, our principles, and the lifestyle we wanted to live was not there anymore, the pull to move to Croatia just got stronger and stronger and stronger. And one night I was laying in bed with my husband, and we had our millionth talk about our dream to move here. And I said, you know what? Koga jebe, let's do this. So here we are, 2 years later. And it's truly incredible once you submit to a dream and you kind of let life take its course and pull you on its currents, the magical things that can happen. And I don't want to sound like I'm romanticizing this, but it really has been magical, and it's been amazing. And so with that, obviously, there's polarities to every experience, and there was a lot of hard times. There was culture shock. There was extreme homesickness. There was drives home from MOOP where I was crying from frustration, thinking I would never figure this out. There was language barriers. Even though I speak Croatian, I felt like I couldn't truly express who I was and let people really get to know who I was because of those language barriers. But I believe that life is not defined by your struggles, because no matter where you live, in any country in the world, you're going to have struggles in life. I think to evaluate your lifestyle, and if you're living a good lifestyle, you should evaluate your day-to-day life, because that's what makes up your life, right? And so thinking about those grace periods in life and thinking about how we spend our day-to-day life, I start to think, am I grateful for my day-to-day life? And I'm sure I can ask anyone in this room, are you grateful to live in such a beautiful country that people have fought for this country for centuries trying to own it? Are you grateful for having a coffee in one of the most beautiful beaches in the world on a Monday afternoon? Are you grateful for being able to walk home tonight and feel so safe that you don't have to look over your shoulder? For the kindness of strangers that will help you on the drop of a dime, and they are always friendly and say dobar dan and are very pleasant. Not to mention the fresh food, the fresh air, the homemade wine, and ultimately the laid-back lifestyle. There's no deadlines and that gloom and doom over you when you live here. And so I know everyone has their perspective and everyone has their experience, but I'm sure that I'm not the only one that feels grateful to live here. And coming to speak today, I just wanted to maybe spark some sort of inspiration or some sort of bravery in people to take that leap of faith. Because if they feel even an ounce of the belonging and happiness that I feel here, then it's all worth it. And so I wrote in for the returnee interview, and I ended it with a poem, and I wanted to read it today. It was a poem that I wrote this summer sitting in Kalarga, just around the block, having a coffee with my family on a nice summer day. So here it is. The sun is hot on our faces, our skin becoming kissed. The sounds of birds, dogs, and children. I pinch myself to be sure I exist. A woman is singing, she plucks the strings of her guitar. An old man is watching her as he smokes her cigar. These walls have history, many tales of victory and defeat. My daughter dances on its ruins. My son explores the cobblestone in his bare feet. A castle that was fit for kings and queens is surely fit for me. Zadar as the backdrop of our story, the cleansing from the deep blue sea. My heart belongs to this city. My family breathes its air. I wouldn't have it any other way. God has answered my prayer. And that's that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic. Can you beat that, Tanya?